Hello and welcome back to the channel. So this is lesson 6 of SAM fundamentals. I will be going over AAA or anti-aircraft artillery and also AA or anti-air threats. My understanding of the difference between the two is that AAA is more of artillery, hence the explosions at altitude. AA are the tracers that you see zipping past your canopy when you venture a little too low and too close to an enemy airfield. Again, I will be using the Vault for in-depth information and data. If you do not have a copy of the Vault, I have a link down below where it can be downloaded. This document is updated on Benchmark Sim's website, where at the moment the current update is February 2021. So there are two types of AAA, optical and radar guided. Optical guidance obviously lacks a radar, so it won't be detectable via RWR. Optical guidance is less accurate because the crew on the ground is visually calculating how far the target is and guessing where the charge should go off based on visual references. Fortunately, radar-guided sights are detectable by RWR but are way more accurate. Remember, I am not an expert, but these are my experiences in BMS. None of these maneuvers are set in stone. It will always depend on the situation. Check out the description for chapters in my Aviation Plus store where all purchases directly support the channel. And without any further ado, let's get started. Alright, let's get started with this AAA. So first, I'm going to go over the fire can radar, which is the radar that the AAA uses for tracking the radar types. So you'll see these on your RWR. It sometimes comes up as an S or an A, or with the A and a dot underneath. So it could be any of these with this type of RWR. But it also with the other type of RWR, it comes up as this. This is the tracking site for most of the AAAs. Fire control is 25 miles around. Minimum altitude is 2,000 feet. Max range of gun is NA because it's a radar system. So guns can still fire without fire can. So without this, it can still fire. The radar is needed to see through the clouds. So this is a towed radar. ECM burn through range is 13 nautical miles. Chaff vulnerability is medium. It uses the echo band, and this is not applicable. Move on to the next. The KS-12 Type 72, so this uses the fire can radar as above, and it also is optical, as it says. It could still fire without the radar, but it needs it to fire through clouds. So this minimum range of the guns is 2,000 feet. Typical engagements is 5 nautical miles and 28,000 feet. Max range of guns is the same. Type is towed SHORAD for the AAA. ECM bird through range is no effect. Shoot and move is no, so it has to stop to shoot. Gun caliber is 85 millimeters, so it's flak. Velocity is not applicable, and the radar lock range is 13 nautical miles, and fire control is 7 nautical miles. So with this, as you said here, as it says here, jink vertically, so jink up and down. The reason why you want to go up and down, not side to side on a vertical, horizontal plane, is because if you jink up, it has to change the timing for the round to explode. If you just jink to the left or the right, all it has to do is move the gun, and it'll be the same timing for the explosion. So just have to move the gun a little bit, and it'll still hit you. So with these, you'll definitely see if you're being shot. If it's at night, you'll see flashes. If it's during the day, you'll see smoke. One of your wingman will probably see some smoke coming from the ground and exploding next to your aircraft. Moving on to the next is a KS-19. KC-19 is the same thing. So this uses the fire can radar as well. It is basically the same thing, but it just has this a little bit higher for the typical engagement. So it could shoot a little bit higher than the Type 72. Same thing, jink vertically up and down to force them to change the explosion timing of the round. Gun caliber is 100 millimeters, so it's a little bit larger, so it will do more damage once it hits you. And everything is basically the same. So most of these are going to be mostly the same. So I'm going to move right along to SA-60, Type 59. Same thing. Fire can radar and optical, 2,000 feet for minimum. Typical engagement, 21,000 or so. So this is a little bit lower than all of these. So usually if you're above this height, you will not be shot by the guns. You'll still get locked by it, but it won't actually be able to shoot you. So it's towed as well. No effect ECM, gun caliber 57, so it's like a lower caliber round. If it hits you, still do damage, so it might knock out your avionics or knock out your HUD or mess up with your engine. So you just need to be aware of black smoke and flashes at night with your wingman and yourself. Make sure you stay away from these things. So the M39 Type 55 right here, it looks like the World War II type of guns. This is optical only, so they have to aim it and guess what altitude the aircraft they're aiming at. So minimum range of the guns is 2,000 feet. Typical engagement 1.3, 8,600 feet. Maximum range of the gun is the same. It is towed SHORAD. It is optical, so ECM doesn't matter. Shoot and move, so it has to stay still. 37 millimeter flak. It'll still do some damage, 37 millimeters. Same thing with this. Maintain high speed, so it can't turn. It is unable to turn its guns fast enough. So jinking up and down, left and right would help as well. But just try to stay away from these. So if you stay above 8,600 feet, you should be okay for this Type 55 AAA. So this is not implemented, but there is a 52K variant with 85 millimeter rounds. It's not implemented in BMS. So moving on to the ZU-23, we'll go over this later. So the ZU-23 is the optical as well. Only optical. There's no radar. It's about the same as the Type 55, but it's just about the same thing, but about 10,000 feet. So if you're above 10,000 feet, you should be okay. You shouldn't be getting hit by this gun here. Max range is 2 miles, 10,000 feet. Maintain high speed and jink as well. Everything is the same. Caliber is 23 millimeters, so it's a little bit less of damage, but it'll still mess you up and force you to go home, basically. Moving on to the next one is Type 58. Tracking is optical, so you'll just see explosions going by you. It's about 9,800 feet, 1.1 nautical miles. Maintain high speed and jink. Gun caliber is 14.5 millimeters. And other than that, it's just about the same as the previous, just the millimeters for the gun caliber is a little bit different. So now moving on to the last one of the optical and radar guided AAA is the ZSU Sparka. So this is usually located near airfields or on the airfield. So if you get too close to an airfield, it'll start shooting at you. So there's no warning. There's nothing on the RWR. It uses optical. And this is more of a, I would say, more of a anti-air. So there's tracer rounds that go by you. And as it says here, to maintain high speed and jink, gun has low accuracy. So it's still, if it hits you, it's still deadly. It'll still get you and knock your engine out, but it does have low accuracy, so it's always good to maintain high speed and stay above 20,000 feet when overflying enemy airfields, but I wouldn't advise flying over enemy airfields anyway because it's an enemy airfield. But the gun caliber is 57 millimeters and it's flak, so that's the Sparka on here. I'm going to go up to the M1992. This is a tracked vehicle here. It does have a 30 millimeter rounds on it. This is, I would say, a AA anti-air. So it uses the tracers, as you see tracers flying by your canopy, especially when you're low over a enemy airfield. This is where these are as well. So this uses radar. You'll see an A with a dot underneath. So once you see that, it could be either the fire can radar, or it could be the M1992. So you just have to be aware and be aware of your altitude. This uses the gun dish radar. It's on this radar right here on the actual vehicle. Minimum range of the gun is 0 feet. Typical engagements 2.5 to 10,000 feet. So if you're above 10,000 feet, you should be okay. Maximum range of the guns is 14,000 feet. It's a mobile SHORAD, so it can move since it's on tracks. ECM burn through is 5.5 nautical miles. Chaff is medium. Shoot and move, yes. So it is able to move and shoot at the same time. So be aware of that. Gun caliber, as I said, 30 millimeter guns with two barrels. Right here it seems like it has 4, but I'm gonna just go with this. So it has a lot of barrels and lots of lead coming at you real quick. Radar lock range is 12 nautical miles. Fire control is 10 nautical miles. So some tactics to get away from it is, number 1, do not go near it. Stay above the 10,000, 14,000 feet floor for this vehicle. But if you are in that situation, maintain high speed above 450 knots. So if you're coming in for a attack run, make sure you're going pretty fast to not get hit by this defense vehicle here. 450 knots. Jink usually fires many rounds in short bursts. So as you would see in Falcon in 3D, you would see a whole bunch of rounds in like a length, like a snake coming out. It'd be red tracers coming at you, and you'll just hopefully see them go behind you and get away from that as quickly as possible. And always maintain visual or tally on the bullets so you know which way to go. Do not look forward to do something on your avionics. You need to look at this vehicle and make sure it's not shooting at you or getting close. I'm gonna move on to the other one, the Shilka. This is a very dangerous shore rad here. This uses a gun dish radar as well. It comes up as the A with the dot underneath. Minimum range of the gun is 0-0. Typical engagement is 2 nautical miles, 10,000 feet. So if you're above 10,000, 16,000 feet, you should be okay. Maximum range is 13,000, 16,000 feet. So same thing with this, the other one. Maintain high speed, 450 knots, jink. It is very dangerous. The search radar is the dog ear. So you'll see that on your RWR. Chaff and ECM burn through 5.5, medium chaff. Shoot and move, yes, so it is able to move. Gun caliber is 23 millimeters, and it has four barrels. So you got lots of lead coming at you real quick. Search radar, 12 nautical miles. Fire control, 10 nautical miles. And that is the Shilka, which is usually just like the 1992. It's usually at enemy airfields to protect it from low attacks with blues or gun runs from enemy aircraft. So to stay away from enemy airfields as much as possible. With that being said, we'll get on to 3D. So see you in the pit. Alright, here we are just outside of the KS-12 or Type 72 and the KC-19 anti-air artillery sights at that circle down there. I'm just going to hover around 26,000 feet. The maximum of this sight is 28,000 feet. So it should be shooting at us here. I did get the notification on the RWR that the fire can is looking at me with the S and A cycling back and forth about 25 miles out. So you'll be able to know if it's being locked onto you. So here we are trespassing the AAA. Usually it only shoots if you're right above it, so we'll try to see if we can get it to shoot at us here. And you'll be able to see flashes in your cockpit, even during the day. At night definitely, but during the day you'll be able to see flashes as well. As we get closer and closer, should start seeing flashes here soon. This is the one that's closest to us. This is the one that's underneath us. So it's spiking us right now, mud AAA now. Around 25,000 feet. I might as well just go to standard. I do have bombs on here to simulate the loadout that you might have. Alright, doesn't seem like it shot at this that time. We'll try it again here. Here I reset at 22,000 feet, a little bit lower, and see if it'll start shooting at us on this one. I'm going to go to air-to-ground mode. Use my TGP to look down there. There they are. See them right there? Seems like they're moving right now. This is the fire can radar right here moving around. So once we go over it, everything should stop moving and it should start shooting at us. Alright, now back at, or down to 20,000 feet. Seeing if they'll shoot me here. See them on the TGP. Down there. Seems like they're pointed at me. They're definitely pointed at me. We'll see if we can get any flak shots from them. Be able to see flashes and smoke around your aircraft, even during the day, but at night it's more pronounced. Did you see the flashes right there? See the flashes from the AAA? So in a couple seconds I should be seeing, there it is, should be seeing flak around the aircraft. So if you ever see this, you have obviously flak coming at you. So you could jink up and down. You go up, force them to change the elevation of the rounds they explode. Kind of jink up and down, and that's all you could really do is just try to get out of that zone where they're shooting you at. You can do some turning maneuvers and kind of change your altitude. Just make sure you get out of that range where they could get you at. Climb back up again. And that's basically it. So that could happen anywhere between 2,000 and 28,000 feet, depending on which which AAA that you have. The two that was there was the KS-12 Type 72 and the KS-19 KC-19. Right, here's the second, the Type 60 and Type 59 57mm, and the ZU-23 23mm optical only for the 23, but the Type 59 is radar and optical. So I'm just going to fly over here right above them at about 15,000 feet because their maximum engagement zone is 20,000 feet, so I'm just going to make sure that they are able to shoot me. Usually they only shoot if they're right above them. That's usually how it works. I'm just going to level out at 16.2 here. See if they'll start shooting at me here. See, there we are. Has the flashes again. So you got flashes of the AAA, and there's AAA right there. So the visuals are the same. No, doesn't matter what millimeter it is, it'll be the same. As I said, you'll just jink up and down. Looks like outside, if you have your wingman next to you, you'll be able to see different explosions. So make sure you're looking out for your wingman to tell them that they're in a AAA ring getting shot at. As I said before, jinking up and down, making sure you get out of this WEZ, weapon employment zone, for this AAA, and that's basically all you could really do. Chaff won't really do anything because it's optical as well, so they could just get the optical, or they get the radar range and just shoot it optical, turn off the radar, and it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go a little lower to show you what the ZU-23s can do. Basically, look, you can see the flashes from the rounds all over the place. And if you get hit, it'll take out some of your systems. So your screens might go out. The jet will definitely say warning, warning, and you'll definitely know that you have been hit. And your engine might go out. You might start losing fuel and stuff. Well, here's the tracer rounds right here. So these are super dangerous because if you're really low, they could hit you pretty easily. Best thing to do about them is to not get in their range and to keep up your speed. If you keep up your speed, they're unable to keep up with you. So it's coming from these guns right here, the ZU-3s. See how it's locking me up on RWR with the fire can. See the flashes and the tracer rounds. So these are pretty dangerous. You do not want to be in the weapon employment zone of this battalion here because it'll get you really easily. take out half your systems and whatnot. Best thing you can do is just jink up and down. Keep your speed up for the ZU-23s because they have the tracer rounds. They're optical only. So you can get shot at those without any RWR notification. I'm going to fly over it and show what it looks like. These are usually around airfields, especially the ZU-23s, the AA fire tracer rounds. So it starts shooting. Unable to hit me because I'm going about 340 on the speed. So next up, I'm gonna go over by the Shilka. The Shilka, the ZSU-23. Go over by that. That'll be next. So I'll see you over there, and see you over there in a bit. All right, here we are, 12,000 feet above the Shilka, ZSU-23-4. Uses the gun dish radar. It's a track vehicle. Typical range is between 10,000 and 0. The max is 16,000. That's what it looks like here. It's like a gun with a dish on it and then some barrels, as you can see there. So it's pretty terrifying. It's tracer rounds. And there it is, locking me up right there. Has that dot underneath. That's the Shilka. It should be shooting me here soon. There's a lockup. I'm gonna offset this way so I could visually see down there. Doesn't seem like it's shooting at me. Has me locked up for now. I'm just going to reset and come back around and go a little bit lower. Here at 9,000 feet, below its maximum range. See if it'll shoot at me this time. That's the vehicles right there. There's a sin, see if it'll shoot. There it is. There it is, starts shooting at me. About 8,000 feet or so. But there's like 4 of them down there, and there's lots of bullets coming at you. The only thing to get away from these is to, number 1, not get in their weapon employment zone. And number 2 is to keep your speed up. That'll give you a better chance of getting away from that situation and disallowing them from rotating their guns fast enough to hit up, get you with their guns. I'm gonna come back around, come back really low, show you what the rate of fire is on those things. As I said, to keep your speed up, I would recommend above 400 knots. These are usually around airfields. So if you're coming in for a Oka Strike airfield run, you need to keep your speed up. See, they're starting to pretty close to me. I have invulnerability on, so I can't really tell if they're hitting me, but I'm pretty sure they're hitting me right here. Yeah, definitely got hit. So make sure you don't get near those things because they're pretty deadly. They'll shoot at you till you fall out the sky. Also, sometimes there's SA-13s, infrared missiles, waiting for you at airfields as well. Just make sure you brief and see what you have down there before you go into the danger zone. I'll pass it one more time. Keep my speed up this time. I'm going to go full burner. My speed up. It's still hitting me. Yeah, definitely hitting me. Here I'm at 460 knots and they're still hitting me. So make sure you don't get near these Shilkas here because they're pretty dangerous.